find yourself. It's as usual the eBitcoinics Academy, and it's a Friday, as we announced. Actually, every Friday, this and every Friday, we do this so that everybody can learn together with us. And fortunately, today's topic happens to be a very interesting topic which needs serious attention. So I think those that are live on this webinar and those that are not live would make huge benefit on top of this webinar, and that is going to be very serious. And the topic is actually private keys or recovery phrases and what they are actually used for. So private keys and what they are used for. Now, you've been involved with blockchain for quite a while now, and there are some basic terms you've actually been experiencing alongside your blockchain or your crypto lifestyle, and that actually means something that basically can either make sense or cannot make sense. So every day of our lives in this blockchain ecosystem, we are learning about something new, and there are terms that we've never been friendly with. So basically, as long as you are involved with the ecosystem, you should be able to get along with these terms, and you learn what those terms also mean. Now, when we say a private key or a recovery phrase, it is one important thing that handles almost all your asset lives in terms of cryptocurrencies. Now, it is something that should be a part of wherever you are or whatever it is that you are doing. Now, the private keys gives you full functionality upon your crypto asset, like it is the backbone of your crypto asset. You understand? It just becomes everything you ever have. With your private key, you can almost have total control, like 100% have control over your asset. Let's say you have a Bitcoin wallet and somebody else have access to your private key or your recovery phrase. You actually don't have access to that wallet. The person who is having access to your private key is now the owner of the wallet, because if anything, he can just clear almost all the funds on top of your wallet and there is nothing you can do about it. So your private key happens to be your access to your wallet. Now, remember, we've already released instructional materials on what Bitcoin wallets are, the types of wallets you need to use, but we've never discussed about private keys. Now, every wallet type you are going to use, whether online, offline, hardware, software, just name it, you should have access to your private key. Now, let me not be very technical. The moment you sign up for an email account, the first thing you would be given is actually your email address, right? And in the computers, in the IT world, that address is actually considered as a public address, because it is the email address you can basically share with somebody when you want to receive an email. So that address becomes something anybody else can have access to, but your password to your email account become your private key, because the moment anybody is having access to your password on your email, it means the person can at any point in time access your email. So your private key now protects you or gives you authority over your email. Now, in the blockchain world, a private key rather becomes something that gives you access to all your crypto assets, or all your crypto coins, or all your crypto holdings. So it is your private key that gives you full ownership on top of your crypto tokens or your crypto assets. So whenever anybody else have access to your private key, you should know you are sharing your account with somebody. You are no longer the owner of that wallet. And then your public address in cryptocurrencies become your receiver address. If you are going to use the traditional banking system to actually understand this, your public key or your public address becomes your account number. The moment you walk into maybe Zenith Bank Ghana Limited and you want to sign up for a bank account, they give you access to certain facilities, and that include your public account. So it is the account number you are going to be using to receive money or funds. And in blockchain, we call it a wallet address. We've already addressed this already, but it is very important when you are discussing topics like this, you refer people's mind. Right. Now, your bank account number is what you are going to use to actually receive your money. By you, the owner of the account, you become the private key of your account. How? Via your signature. Because if you don't have access to your signature or the signature to that account, there's no way you can cash out money in that account. So if you're using the email, you have your email address, all right, but the fact that you've shared your email address to somebody does not mean the person owns your email account. It is your password that is going to give you access to your email account, and that becomes your private key. So with a Bitcoin or the blockchain ecosystem, your private key is your recovery key, or whatever you can call it, and these are mnemonics. All right, it could be a combination of words, it could be a combination of letters, anything. You just every system has been designed with that, as long as it is actually running on top of the blockchain. Your email account is never an email account when you share your password with somebody else. So with the cryptocurrency world, the moment you are trying to set up a wallet, the first thing you should consider or pay attention to is your recovery phrase or your private key. And this could be a combination of maybe mnemonics or alpha, whatever you can call it. It could be 12 different words. It could be maybe 24 words. It could be maybe 18 words or even 36, depending on the type of wallet or who your wallet provider actually is. Now, there is some important thing you should consider with the types of wallet you are using. For example, online wallets like Coinbase. Coinbase would not give you access to your private key or your recovery phrase. Why? Because they are running a centralized institution, and your private key with Coinbase become your password. So the moment you share your password with somebody, it means they can have access to your account. But when you use a raw wallet like blockchain, though you have access to the online interface, at the same time you would also have access to your private key. Now, those of you that are using software wallets like Coinomi or maybe Copy or Exodus, whatever, even the moment you download the software or try to set it up, the first thing it will ask you to do is to write down your recovery phrase, because that is your wallet itself. Now, these words, underrated words, in issues or in situations that you need help, are the same thing that is actually going to save you. So always you should make sure you take charge of this, and it is your private key that is you. So these are some of the things you need to be aware of, and this, in summary, is private keys and what they are used for. Every week, just invite your friends, let them come learn with us. We are just doing this for everybody else, and we just have to do it by just inviting our friends, and it gets so much better and better as well. And if you have any question, you could just drop the question in the chat box, and I would make clearance on that. If there is, if you want to also speak yourself and ask, you let me unmute you, and once you are unmuted, you can now ask your question. Or if there is no question, we just proceed and comfortably end today's session as well, until we see you next week, Friday, God willing. So let me unmute everyone else, and then we see the way forward. Probably unmute everyone. Okay. Who is having a question? All right, somebody asked. It says in blockchain, I think there is something like backup phrase. Is that private keys blockchain? You know, wallet, I mean? Yes, actually. That is your private key. It can be called a private key. It can also be called a recovery phrase or whatever you can call it, but it's actually it's a combination of maybe letters or some words or maybe some funny algorithm, probably 12 between 12 words or maybe 24, 18 or even 36, 72 up running like that, depending on which sort of wallet you are using. So that recovery phrase is actually your private key, and in case of a loss of your device, your phone, your computer, it is this same key that is going to give you or bring you your funds back. So with that, you can always have access to your money back. Yes, so that is your private key. That is a question from WD. Yes, WD, that's the name I can see over here. And then somebody also asks, how is private keys different from password? Well, password gives you access, like a direct access to your wallet. Whether you are transacting or whether you are sending money or whether, something like that. Whether you are trying to log into your account or whether you are already logged onto your account and you are trying to transact. It is the password that gives you access to your wallet. But there are some platforms, okay, that your password actually represents your private key. And I gave examples to such platforms like email, social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and those things. But in the blockchain ecosystem, in terms of cryptography, your password only gives you access to your wallet. And you can either transact or receive or, those things, those basic things. But your private key is your wallet itself. Like, it contains everything your wallet has or your wallet is having. So whenever you lose anything, like you lose anything, you can have your money back. So always you should put it at the back of your mind. Whenever you sign up for any wallet and you don't have your private key, don't even put money on top of it, because anything can happen and you can never ever have it back. And another question, he says, from Rafatu, she said, how do you retrieve your private key from blockchain? Now, it's not just about blockchain. Any wallet. There are some wallets that prompts you to write it down even before you set it up. But platforms like blockchain, you would have to manually check. So the moment you sign up for blockchain wallet account, just log into your account, you click on settings, and then you will see from there, write down, back up your wallet or write your recovery, whatever. It's at a certain box. So you just log into your account, go to settings, and from there you can just continue from there. And then somebody is also asking from WD again, he says, what's the best way to keep your private key? Example, is it safe to keep them in your email? No. It's not good. Like your email can be hacked at any point in time. Right? Private keys are meant to be kept privately. So it should be offline. You don't need to take screenshots of your private key. You do take screenshots and somebody is able to hack your phone or your computer, you lose your money. That is, maybe you give me your private key, I will just spend all of your money, even though I'm not a bad guy. So imagine the bad guys. Right? So always it should be private. You could just write it in a book, in a notebook. If you trust your email, that nobody, or maybe your email is unhackable, that's fine. When we say hacking, it's not just about somebody logging into your account from some other sources. Somebody can be very close to you. He can have access to your computer. He knows you, whatever, and before you know it, boom, it's gone. So things like this, try as much as you can to keep it private, and also share with those who you can trust. Because at any point in time in life, anything can happen. You could die, you could whatever. So if you have funds, we have instances where people have actually died and their funds are there for nothing because they never shared their private keys with anybody else. And those money, we can see it on top of blockchain, but they can't spend it. Or maybe they are alive, but they lost their private keys and couldn't share it with anybody else they could trust. And they are just seeing their money on top of their addresses, untouchable. And every day is growing. So always have somebody at least you can trust. If you are married, maybe your husband, your wife. If you have a kid, somebody you can trust. Anybody like that. Now, today's world, people are inheriting passwords and private keys rather than big mansions and houses and cars and things like that. So you should always make a backup plan. You never know what could happen. You can even fall sick and you can't speak. Meanwhile, there is something you don't want to share with somebody. It's just so funny. And we also have a question from Alaji Kane. He says, how different is a public key from a private key? Actually, a public key is what you use to receive funds in blockchain or cryptocurrency, whatever. So it is your public wallet address, and that could be a combination of some funny letters, 1A, blah. You use it to basically receive funds, but your private key is your wallet itself. In case you lose your wallet, it is the private key you use to now recover your funds back. I think those questions are very interesting and very important, and that is really, really good. So we use it to actually clear the house. And I want to thank everybody for joining. Those of you that are actually watching this online, thank you so much for making the time. Don't forget, it's every Fridays, 4 o'clock p.m. Share with your friends, invite friends, let them come learn with us. And those that are also going to miss this for some reasons, we would upload it on top of our channel, and you can always have access to this training material. And I was your host for today. Probably anytime, anywhere, anybody else can also host this. And we just want to end this. Kindly subscribe to our channel, tv.ebitcoinics.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook at eBitcoinics, and share this video when uploaded to your friends, your colleagues, as much as you can. Until then, see you next week Friday, same time, God willing.